Hello you guys, and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and you might notice we've got a slightly different background today. I'm actually here at my school, which is my place of work, and I thought it'd be perfect today because we are going to be talking about minimalism in the workplace, how you can simplify your workday and hopefully feel a little bit more stress-free and calm while you're at your job. Now, if there are any fellow teachers out there or just people who are interested in education, Jake and I actually do have a teaching channel. It is called Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies. I just uploaded a classroom tour video on that channel, so if this is something you're curious about and you want to see how the whole space looks besides just the spot that's behind me at this time, you're welcome to take a look and see more details about it. But in general, I just want to talk about some key principles to make your workday a little bit more simple. I think one of the most important parts to start off with is to try to keep your workspace clear and clean at all times, or as often as possible. I know for me, the day can get a little bit crazy, and sometimes there's like a mound of papers on my desk from random things, but trying to reset between each day. Right now, you can see here the desk is pretty clean, not a whole lot there. I've kept knick-knack kind of things to a very bare minimum. There's a few things out on the desk, but having this clear workspace helps with peace of mind. It helps you remember what's most important, focus on more important tasks. It will just help you feel more stress-free and avoid those situations where you need something and you can't find it. That has plagued me many times in the past, and it's definitely something here, especially, a fresh start like I'm trying to do better at that. And keeping a clear workspace is really great. Another great tip for minimalism in the workplace is to track the clutter that you're dealing with, because you might find or be surprised that there are patterns of clutter that appears. What you want to try to do is divert that clutter, figure out a way that you can avoid it, or figure out a system for dealing with it. For me, with teaching, I do have to deal with a lot of papers. Either I'm writing little post-it reminders to myself, or students are turning in papers. There's different handouts and copies we're needing for the day. It's a little wild sometimes. And I have found for myself that I need systems to deal with these, because I have to deal with some of them. I can't go entirely paperless, although my students do have Chromebook computers, which does allow us to do a lot of online activities rather than printouts. There's still paper nonetheless. So, for example, I have all these blue bins over here, and those bins take care of things that are often things that would be on my desk. I kind of have them sorted there. They've got a place. So then when I'm dealing with these things, I don't have to just sit them on my desk. I can actually just put them in the appropriate bin, and I don't have to worry about losing it or having it be really messy. That helps so much. It's been something I've been trying to work on starting this year at my new school here, and it's been really helpful. With small clutter like that, or clutter that you're regularly dealing with, having the system is really important. But what about that big clutter that's just kind of the opposite? It's just been there. It's been sitting there the whole time and you're not really sure about it. I think teaching is especially an area where this is very relevant. I know in my previous school, there were things in cabinets that I had no idea what they were. I just left them there. I didn't even touch them in several years of working there, and I just left them there again. And the same thing in some ways is true here. There's not as much stored and tucked in every nook and cranny of the room, but it's kind of crazy if you've got extra things in your workplace that you really have no idea what they are, and they're just sitting there taking up space. Obviously, there could be requirements for you to keep certain materials there, or technically if they don't belong to you, maybe you feel like you shouldn't be dealing with them or needing to ask permission first at least. But consider if there's any items that are taking up valuable real estate even though you don't use them. Now, I haven't done a whole lot yet with some of these books back here. I am still in the early stages of this job. This is my 4th week of teaching here, but I haven't actually looked at about half of those things yet. And if I haven't looked at them in our first, month of school, I really don't know if they need to be taking up this prime spot, which I could be keeping open or using for other things. So I think those will be things that over time I'm kind of evaluating. I'm not getting rid of them necessarily, but just removing them from prime real estate. Keeping that desk clean should be so important. So the stuff that stays out on the desk should really earn its place there. Likewise, for any other valuable areas you're often coming into contact with. Same with your drawers. Do you have a lot of clutter in your desk drawers? If you don't need some of that stuff, consider passing it on and having a much more open environment. I think that's so important, especially when, for a lot of us, we're spending about 1/3 of our day, maybe longer, at these jobs and in this space. if you're spending that much time, you want to make sure that that time is supporting you overall and reflecting the values that you have. Just as important as minimalism is in the home, in the workplace, I think it's also very important. And then a third tip, but also very important, is to, with your schedule, try not to get bogged down by small tasks. It's very easy to get sucked into an email here or a phone call here. Before you know it, all these little tasks maybe have taken up a lot of your time. Sometimes it can feel like you're spending just a lot of time on, the basic emails and that sort of thing, and not able to complete larger projects or really progress in the way that you want. So for me, I find that it's best if I just kind of handle these tasks in chunks, deal with them all at once in a more rapid pace unless it's something very urgent, and then I don't have to think about it as much later. So I actually have kind of a little to-do list for myself with 6 things. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, but 6 things I'm sort of in the routine of doing at the end of my day. So during my break time towards the end, as well as after school, that's when I go through those 6 tasks, get things adjusted and ready for the next day. And doing those tasks all at once helps me because I'm not thinking about it a little bit, here and there throughout the day. I'm not waiting to do it till I get home and when I might be working at a more slow pace. And having these set things helps me not get bogged down by the small stuff when my time should actually be used for more important things. So on my little task list here, I have some quick little tasks that I update, different documents for homework. I make my copies if needed, prep for the bell ringer activity, adjust my board, go through my email all at once, and deal with any assignments that maybe I collected that day. Doing all those things at once there really helps me not get behind, and it makes life a lot easier to not have to think about those little things, those annoying things sometimes when we go home for the night. And that can also be a way to help implement work-life balance. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, these are really simple steps and I think can apply to a lot of different workplace situations. Looking for ways to keep your workspace more clutter-free, calm, maximize your time in productive ways, meaning you don't have to waste as much time outside of work dealing with some of those basic things. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video or other content related to minimalism or healthy living, feel free to subscribe to the channel. You could check out the classroom tour video if you're interested. I'll link it right here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.